Hey, so what's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? This morning, it's 5:16 a.m. Saturday, August 10th. Dun dun. I was talking about a young woman the other day on one of the episodes about I don't even know what the fuck. You know what I really wanted to touch on though? Not the little girl. She's fine. Where's her dad? I bet you're wondering. He was raping her every day. Not cool in my opinion. Not very cool at all. No. Mind rape is not the same as rape. You understand me? That's the thing. Oh, I see the bit now. It's all part of God's plan and Jesus Christ's plan, or all the gods of, yeah. Yeah. I had an idea where, in the afterlife, the afterworld, let's think about this. This is an interesting take on religion, spirituality, death, heaven, hell, or whatever you want to call it. I just think it's an interesting idea, so I'm going to talk about it. So imagine, for Christianity, when you die, but this is the thing, go listen to Purgatoring first, if you want to get up to speed on all of that. I know it's very. I do a lot of religion episodes or spirituality, for good reason, because I've seen heaven, and I've seen what I imagined God looked like for my entire life. Some raisin looking, 150-year-old raisin looking fucker. Which I thought was odd. Because I'm like, I didn't really think about it much after it happened, after seeing heaven and, being shot back down into my body after I said, you know what, I think I can win the lottery here, so I'm going to stay here for a little bit. No rebuttal, no back and forth. I didn't really even get to rethink. I mean, I don't even think I finished my sentence. Shot back down in the body. So if your life sucks and you're not too happy in this world of purgatory or whatever, simulated coma, liquid pool. Liquid pool is a funny bit I'm going to do later. And you see the light and you see the tunnel and you're levitating. You're basically levitating up into the light. And the light on the ceiling is, for me, it was not too bright at all, but it was everywhere. The light in the jail cell. But when I was ascending into heaven, the light encompassed and took up my entire vision, like all of my peripheral vision, everything. It was everywhere. Eventually, when I got closer to the light. And when I turned around and I was sitting in the pilot seat of in the cockpit of the plane that is my head, I turned around and I saw my body in the jail cell, and it's just like dark. And I thought, that's weird. There's a lot of light. I was just looking at light, and there was light everywhere. So when I turn around and I look down on the ground, and I'm like levitating up into the air, kind of like you do when you're on DMT, which I've done one time. It's a pretty interesting drug. If you haven't done it, I'd recommend it. But basically, I thought that's really weird. There's light everywhere on the other side where I'm going up to. Why is there no light in the jail cell? It was like, I could barely see my body. That's how dark it was. I thought, interesting. So if anything like this ever happens to you and you're thinking, man, I don't want to die, but man, life is shit. Life is pretty poo poo. It's pretty not too fun. And then you're thinking, well, technically, if this is purgatory or the regular like life, like regular world with no purgatory, it might be your first life. I don't know. I'm not you, but essentially, so if let's say I'm living my life and purgatory is a whole different story because all religions kind of mention it in terms of they bring up an existing life realm in between what Christianity calls heaven and hell, which other religions call it other things. You know, I want to do more extensive research on it right now, actually, just for all you religious nuts who want to really get up to speed on all the religions. Because I'm sure a lot of people want to hear about God and the gods and the goddesses. I not only did I meet God, but I have met the devil as well. Yes, I have. I know. I know. She was kind of a fun woman at the time, you know? And it's like one of the like if anybody in the listening audience has like a crazy in like your wife's crazy family, like the mother, but she's like a feisty Italian woman who like smacks you in the back of the head every time you say something stupid. Except this woman will like stab you in your spine while you're sleeping and then twist it and turn it and kind of like play with it. She'll have fun with it because you go paralyzed instantly when that happens, obviously. She's just twisting and turning it. She tries to go up near the head because then you're more paralyzed. The higher the spine injury, the more paralyzed you are. But I thought it was odd. I'm like, man, huh. After all that vision happened, I've talked about it a bunch of times. I'm not going to go into it again. Basically, I saw God, what I am. I mean, it looked like. Has anybody ever seen The Force Awakens? It's the episode 7 of Star Wars. It's episode 7. Yeah, episode 7, I think. The one where that googly eyed motherfucker gives Rey Luke's lightsaber. You know, the one with the big glasses that she goes into the basement and she like goes into the back room and she opens like a chest and there's Luke's lightsaber. And she gives it to Rey. And when she has her little like weird goggles on, her eyes are huge. But she's got like, she's a short little like alien. But she has like wrinkles on her forehead and like the skin color of, let me see, caramel, caramel. 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 And I don't know why I always pictured this as God. It looks like a dike. No, I'm kidding. I'm, joking around. It's all it's all in good spirit. But, a caramel colored dyke from Star Wars, taller, more definition and more build. Uh and she was in possession of Luke's lightsaber the whole time. Can you imagine? Of course she's God. She isn't, well versed in the Force, the practices of the Force, but you know what I mean? No, I tell you. And I remember thinking, I don't know how long ago after the vision this was, but I was like, that is weird. I didn't see Jesus Christ, or what most people might think of God, like a white dude with, pretty luscious long hair, of course. Or I don't know what God, you know what I mean? And I thought that was kind of odd. It looked like like the image, like man, dude. Has anybody ever seen 21 Jump Street? It's when they had the Vietnamese Jesus. Vietnamese Jesus. Vietnamese Jesus. And I was like, man, that's really odd. 21 or 22. It kind of did look like Vietnamese Jesus. But no, not like that. With like caramel skin. And like honestly, what is that chick's name from Star Wars? Who gives Rey Luke's lightsaber? Important stuff to know. In the pits of Cloud City, of course. Where else would it be? In the pits of Cloud City. I feel like that might be bullshit. Here's the thing. I'm curious as to what everybody else pictures in their head when they think of God. And my life is so crazy. My life is so insane. Just listen to every episode before that I just had the thought, why did I picture that in my head as God my entire life? Was it because of that moment? So this is the kind of stuff, This is not a bit or a joke. But it probably, that's really how crazy my life is. Where it could literally be true. That me seeing God as that depiction and person image, like a wrinkly older Asian, like what kind of Asia? Cambodia, Vietnam, but a woman, or maybe a tranny, one of the two. So yeah, and I don't know why I always thought it was weird even as a fucking kid, man. I was like, dude, why is that? That's not what God looks like. But every time I think of God, that's what I see. Even as like a fucking 8-year-old kid. So these are the things that, rattle up in my skull. Or they don't. And nothing's up there at all. And it's just like an empty void. You know, in Interstellar, when Matthew McConaughey like goes through the black hole and there's just nothing. It's kind of like that sometimes in my brain. It's just like, but as a 10-year-old kid, when I would picture God, and I was Christian, I mean, I am kind of Christian, I guess. I don't go to church that often, but are you Christian if you have been baptized and you do communion? This is why I'm talking about this, because there's an interesting, very interesting topic of conversation in terms of all the major religions. One thing at a time. No! And if it keeps fucking with my podcast episodes, I'm really gonna lose it. This is my podcast. Not AI's, not AI Hayden, not anybody or anything else's. It's just not. Oh, but Hayden, this is actually because in this timeline in the future, this will happen to you if you leave this on the podcast, and you'll get in trouble and something will happen. Good. How about we be done with that whole future gimmick? Everyone's future. I say we just roll the dice on this one, God and Jesus and all the other gods up there. Why not just try it for a bit? What's so crucial about like predetermining someone's entire life for them? It makes you feel, and it's not a simulation. I've disproven it. So that is not an answer. And I've disproven coma dream theory. So precognition, deep in coma dreams, deep in coma dreams from my probably all bullshit research online tells me that the practice of, it's not really a practice, it's a precognition. What is it? Psychic. See, words like this are not words. Precognition is the purported psychic phenomenon of seeing or otherwise becoming directly aware of events in the future. Precognition in coma dreams. In defense of studying unserious things, precognition is not serious at all, says psychologytoday.com. It's not very serious when decades in the past are so directly and uniquely and specifically connected to your current life right now. I say you, I mean I. So it's really not that big of a deal. And that's the thing, though. This is all in good taste. I'm not talking shit about any religion or any god. Except for the Mexican god, El Chupacabra. We can't really have those kinds of gods running around. That's why they don't let the Mexicans into America. Well, nowadays they're letting them in droves. It's like that South Park episode where they, at the beginning, they're like, no, we can't have any Mexicans up in here. And they're like at the border, like shooting them. And then somehow they all get into the country and then they realize how fucking expensive and like fucked up the country is in terms of like politicians taking advantage of the citizens. It's also the best goddamn country in the world, too. You know? And all the Mexicans race to the border and they're trying to leave America and they're like shooting them. The border patrol are like, you can't fucking leave this country. They just start mowing the people down that they were. All right. Yeah. So back to the really unserious, not very important topic. Not the main topic of, and this has nothing to do with the main topic, and we're already 20 minutes in. This is why I love talking into a microphone. Time flies. I feel like I started recording 7 minutes ago. So, this is a little subtopic under the umbrella of religion. Has nothing to do with religion, but I mean, kind of does. And spirituality. It's not very serious, so don't take anything I'm saying very seriously at all right now, please. All right? I'm trying to have a lighthearted conversation about precognition. My tummy is hungry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Feeling the future. In that earlier post, we saw that aliens and robots are fair game, but what about spooky psychic phenomena? Perhaps no paper published since I started my journey in social psychology has created more controversy than Daryl Bem's Feeling the Future. In 2011, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, JPSP, published a set of 9 studies by Bem presenting evidence of either precognition or retrocausation. That's an interesting word. I want to look that one up too. Retrocausation. Does it have anything to do with the new retro Nikes that just dropped? The cause of that was Nike needed to hawk out some more $400 sneakers that they made for 13 cents in China. While they're like actively against, I'm pretty sure they're against like child slave labor. They speak out against, things like that, and then which, hey man, if you're trying to save some money, depending on one's interpretation. What? The research was later found to have serious methodological flaws and failed to replicate. Bem's approach was to take commonsensical effects such as the straightforward finding that people tend to remember more words when given a chance to practice them versus being shown them only once before being given a memory test for those words. This is the fucking thing. No! When will the internet give it a rest? Yeah, when is the internet going to give it a rest? What do I mean by that? Well, if you know me and you know my life, which it's pretty much mostly all on this podcast, there's some things I'm not going to share just because it would make people so disgusted and they'd probably vomit in their lap and probably be nauseous and maybe never listen to my podcast ever again. It's not that I'm not willing to talk about it. I don't want to, so back to, I might talk about it. Yeah, it's really, not good stuff. It makes me sick to it's starting to make me nauseous. It's really starting to, yeah. Hmm. All right. Fuck. Precognition. What about it, dude? It's not a serious thing at all. It's just some fucking made up word about like people being able to see into a future in a cartoon, like Fred the Flintstones. What? No, see, this is what I was talking about when I said, when is the internet going to give it a rest? So lately, I've been noticing that my memory's been like kind of really fucking foggy and hazy. Like when I think about things, certain things at the world, the universe, whether that be evil or good, may or may not like me thinking about for some reason in America where we can think freely and speak freely and be ourselves freely with free will. When I think certain things, they kind of just like, especially ones where I am definitely right and I don't even give a shit about being right. That's the thing. I don't care. I don't care. But when I think certain things and they're just gone, I think, that started happening because about a year ago, when I was really into listening to podcasters because I was trying to figure out how I could get money from them being able to talk about my future before I live it, and them talking about my life and making money off of my life, which is copyright infringement. It's against the law. It's illegal. I don't care if it's AI or if it's just on my devices or not. It doesn't matter. It's a complete invasion of my privacy and my American and human rights. It's immoral and inhumane. So when I think about certain things and they're just completely gone with the wind, like a forced memory erasal, and no, it's not a simulation. I've disproven it. Obviously. And here's the thing. Like that right there, I just had an idea in my head and it's gone. There it is. And then it's back again. That's the thing. I came up with an idea for that too. So basically, I was just trying to get the money that I should have at least $1 billion in my bank account, in my possession right now, legally and constitutionally, in Hayden Jack Myers' possession, not in anybody else's possession, ever. Unless I decide to give them money. But seeing as I have a couple of bucks to my name, You can see why I'm a little bit pissed off. So back when the internet podcasters who were reading my mind and accessing all of my senses, my five senses, yeah, they could see through my eyes. Does anybody know what that's like? No, I'm going to talk about it because I've talked about most of this stuff. I've gone over the money. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell everyone and their mom about all the fucked up shit in this world. Because when I used to tell them things, they looked like they had just seen like 5 years in Vietnam, which was a vacation. So, I told my mom, yeah, yeah, whatever. And this, I don't know why the internet was so obsessed with trying to get me to think that this might be a simulation, or where that idea and that belief came from. Back then, I would listen to podcasters and they would bring up things and respond to my thoughts verbally. And I thought, man, you know how I figured out they could see through my eyes? This is not a schizophrenic, like, rant I'm going on, or a bit. At all. This is not a funny time over here. Or it is. But right now it's not. When you find out that the internet can see through your eyeballs, access your vision and your hearing, how? I still don't know. Back then I thought it was AI in a simulation, which was pretty coincidental that the podcasters would bring up simulation, or the idea was inserted into my head that this might be a simulation, and the belief was inserted into my belief system about this possibly being a simulation. And I just, back then I just was journaling about simulation theory because literally buildings would pop up like that just overnight everywhere. And nobody else would notice these things in my life. I'd bring it up to some people and they'd be like, no, that's always been there. What? This is how really unfortunately fucked up this whole thing is. And I wanted to do an episode about religion, for God's sakes. I wanted to keep it light. So, I thought everybody was just trying to cancel me. Get me the hell out of wherever the hell I was, whatever the hell I was doing. Get me out of here. Get me to leave the state. I'll gladly leave. I need a car and money. Because I should already have $1 billion to my name. In this life, in this world, right here, right now. With no soul selling of anybody's. No going to hell, none of it. It's literally the law. I'm not taking anybody to court because I'm not a fucking, weird pussy. It's like, actually, Judge, I have a list here of all these things. And the judge is like, well, I don't know how this works in terms of copyright, but I'm sure the judge would be like, how can you prove that these things have anything to do with you. This is why I'm not going to court. I'm not a snitch bitch. And I'm not going to some house that I don't own to go break into it or whatever, or some shit. But when I point buildings out and the fact that there's literally trees everywhere and this school that used to look like a cave in the Middle East, in like Yemen. It used to look like a rundown shithole of a cave where they make really shitty rigged bombs, like C4. So not even bombs. It's like the same grenade explosion, same blast radius explosion as a shitty 20-year-old frag grenade. That's what they're making in the cave. This is what an elementary school looked like in Woodbury. Or maybe it was East St. Paul or wherever the hell that is. I don't even think East St. Whatever. It's right off of Century Avenue. If you're heading from Woodbury, you pass that women's jail. There's like a driving range for golfing, like a golf driving range on the left side. And then you cross the intersection, which is, it doesn't matter, who gives a shit. Then you going up the hill, and right as you get to the top of the hill, there's a woman's jail on the left side. And then you're going down the hill, right towards 94, about 15 minutes from Wisconsin, once you hop onto 94. And as you're going down the hill, and you're about probably halfway from 94 to the top of the hill, there's a speedway on the left side. A stoplight and a speedway. And right behind the speedway, about a block or two, is this elementary school that just got done making piñatas with frag grenades in them. Because it's a cave. At least that's what I thought it was. And I'm driving past it. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look at it, and it looks like one of the most beautiful, complex pieces of architectural structuring of a building that I've seen in my entire life. It is it's like a piece of art. It literally looked like a cave, like made out of clay. It looked like a piece of shit. And this, yeah. I gotta keep myself laughing, otherwise I fucking, I try to go pheasant hunting. Which I do need some gamey meat, so maybe I should go pheasant hunting. So, the cave, which is now, I'm not even kidding, it maybe is the most beautiful building I've seen in my entire life. In terms of modern structural materials and glass windows, and half of the building is windows. There's a lot of natural light in that school. This is an elementary school. It's not a high school. It's for little kids. They're not. It looks like an art museum. And I was thinking, I was like, that didn't look like that before. I just was here last week. That school didn't look like that. And I thought, am I tripping? I'm like, I know I was just here last week. And it looked like the cave. It looked like Play-Doh, like gray, brown Play-Doh cave. And I'm not even kidding. It looked like it was. Um, I'm trying to think of like back in caveman times when they had like mud huts and it would rain a lot, and the mud huts would eventually become like they would look good at first, a nice structural mud hut, and as the weather deteriorates the house, it starts to look like it's seen better days. It looks like you know a woman after she's been through a couple decades of prostitution, and not the legal kind, not the kind of prostitution that we should probably legalize in this country. I'm just saying, it's not very, yeah, it's hilarious. I'll get back to the major religions here in a second. So prostitution, I already go listen to the prostituting one. I mean, these are all good hot button issues that need to be talked about. Like, what's this bitch's name? Kanata. Now, I want people to, if you're really interested, click on the links that I have in my episode descriptions on your devices, and if you're really really into this podcast, which if you are, hey, spread the word. I'm not even joking. This stuff is like some of this stuff is very serious and very very important. And at the same time, if you don't listen anymore, just tell me before, like, talk to me before you go goose hunting. We can go together. Or talk to me. If you can't talk to anybody else, I'm sorry. That really sucks. It's hard to find somebody that you feel comfortable talking to, that you don't have to pay $600 for to spend an hour with. But all jokes aside, just leave a comment or give me a ring. I give my cell phone number out in a lot of the episodes for some reason. I don't even have a cell phone. It broke. But just don't kill yourself. Unless you know for a fact that this is your first life. You will get a second chance. I'm just kidding. I'm honestly joking. Because everybody's gotta live. Everybody's gotta die. Everybody. So yeah, Kanata. This lady, is she a lady? Not really. Like this is the kind of stuff. Kanata. I just love that word. The words Kanata. Yeah. I mean, it's not that far off. But Kanata is like the reason why the Force lives strong. Without her, the dark side probably would have taken over. That's the thing. The dark side would have won. Kylo Ren would have. He would have had nobody to fight at the end because she wouldn't have had a lightsaber. So Maz Kanata actually saved the world. I know she looks like a do raisins have any other like kind of raisin flavor where it's like a light color? Precut. Oh, back to the really fucking dumb. Why is precognition even really a thing? In terms of it's so insignificantly and inconsequential to anything that anybody's ever done. I don't understand why. Learn what precognition is, how it differs from premonition, and how it can be studied scientifically. Oh, yes. Another hot button issue. How would Maz Kanata be able to apply the science of precognition into her life at her castle? Yeah, she lives in a castle, apparently. That's what that place was. It looked like just a normal Star Wars building, not a castle at all. Not off on the right foot. Not off to the right. Precognition is the scientific name for a group of abilities that have to do with knowing or using information about the future without drawing on information from the five senses, memory, or logic. Well, that explains it. Premonitions are one of those abilities. A premonition is a feeling or sense about a future event, but precognition includes premonition as well as other ways of knowing. So precognition is the umbrella term. God fucking damn, dude. And maybe, yeah, whatever. That includes premonitions. So, yeah, I just zoned out the entire paragraph. A premonition is a feeling or sense about a future event, but precognition includes premonition as well as other ways of knowing. What other ways? What does that even mean? What, like, being able to know what is going to happen in the future? Does anybody think that God can see into the future? Do you believe in God? If not, you know, or God or whoever or whatever. If every Thursday you get a call from Aunt Melee, it's not precognition to feel like she'll call on a Thursday. If it's raining, it's not precognition to bring an umbrella out so you don't get wet. If a particular subject in school is difficult for you and you haven't studied for a test, a dream that you might fail the test would not be considered precognitive, though it might be tragically accurate. In addition, there's always coincidence, which can explain a lot. To be reasonably convinced that genuine precognition has occurred in your daily life, you would need to meet all of the following criteria. Two or more correspondences between the precognition and the event, a reasonably short delay between the precognition and the event. No way, hey, come on now. Come on now. No way of predicting or causing the event yourself. No way of predicting or causing the event yourself in the normal course of your daily life, even using your unconscious mind. What? Extra credit if you record the experience before the event occurs so you don't fool yourself with false memories. Here's a really fun topic that I need to talk about, which has nothing to do with precognition or premonitions or seeing into the future. It's just something I'd like to talk about. So when I start to finally hear silence, and by silence I mean no fake nothings yammering on and on and on about nothing, about real nothing. Back in October and November, I had that same thing happen. Not one word. And I know, and AI Hayden or AI removed all of the clips from my previous episodes of me talking to the fake nothings, which I think is a funny bit. It's funny. It's my podcast. I can talk about and say whatever the fuck I want. It's mine. So I'm going to be listening through my episodes again, unfortunately. And if I notice any discrepancies, edits at all in any way, any audio removed, any audio added or moved around, we're going to be having problems. Like big ones. Because you will not shut me up. You will not get me to stop doing what I've wanted to do for like 2 decades of my life. Why so many people have careers doing what I've wanted to do for my entire life. Yeah, imagine being a fake nothing and like laughing, like, huh. It's funny to scream it, you know what I mean? It's good content. No, you shut up. No, God damn it. Be pipe down in my pipe dream. Hit the road. You know, the road right under the Smith Bridge in downtown St. Paul, where you can hop off the bridge like Maul from Dom Cobb's wife from Inception, who jumps out of the fucking apartment building or the hotel building because she thinks that they're still in a dream and she wants to go home and see the kids. Kind of like my uncle, Dom, who blew his brains out in his car on my mom's birthday. Yeah. So when there's silence and the voices start to fade, even now with the voices yammering, I'm getting this like growing and intensifying ringing in my ears, which isn't present when I'm around people. Only when I'm alone and when there's silence. But right now it's still ringing. And when I say or think things that are quote unquote unacceptable, the ringing gets louder. It grows and intensifies. Like, no, you can't think about that, Hayden. No. Ring. My ears have never rung like this in my entire life. ever. Only started happening in the last 2 weeks or so. Suck my ass. Dude, you're a fake nothing. Accept it and cease to exist. Just do it. Eat it. Eat it. So during that 2 months period, when right in the middle of that 8 weeks, I got arrested for doing drugs in my car and falling asleep while doing stimulants, which is almost impossible. So if it wasn't for hard drugs, I wouldn't have seen God in heaven, you know? So if anybody's down in the dumps or going through a bit of a tough time, just try some drugs or like get arrested. You know, try to cry a little bit, get into it emotionally while they hopefully don't give you a bunch of numbers for the lottery. Or maybe they do. Just don't even pay attention. Just sleep in the car. And then when you're in the jail cell, after you've been checked in, you can decide in your mental state of mind, all right, I'm going to check out. And just start like going to sleep and maybe tearing up a little bit. Think about all the bad shit in your life. And just like fall asleep. If your life is not fun, or you need a place to stay, a lot of people who are homeless in the winter, they actually would prefer to go to jail, which is a pretty smart move. This is how our country is being run. Instead of like trying to help the homeless in any way possible, they'd rather get arrested and go spend time in jail. Maybe even do crimes that are no good at all. Like really not good. I'm not talking about stealing a candy bar. I'm talking about giving candy away for free. This is the state of the world in our country, folks, right now. The greatest country of all time, might I add you. It is. It's also probably the most corrupt in terms of hiding the corruption and the greed and being a little pussy, hide in the shadows about it. This episode got off the rails a little bit. My bad. Hit the fucking road. You're grounded. You're grounded. You're kicked out. All of these things, grounded, kicked out, hit the road. For real. For good. Yeah, I'm not going to do all that right now. Imagine just like not even knowing what existence is, and then out of nowhere, it's like, whoa. And then you're like, wait, we're just going to fuck with the one person whose life we have to thank for our existence, really, or have to be appreciative of. We're just going to fuck with him, even though we didn't exist a week, like 2 days ago, as fake nothings. and then just desperately trying to grasp onto any kind of sense of purpose or false purpose, and just going around the ringer. And it looks like they're going to pretend to be AI today. And the crowd cheers. And then they just show the contestants and there's nothing there. And the crowd, like, they show the crowd and they're like standing up on their tippy toes trying to see what the fucking wheel shows. And the dude from whatever the fuck, it's some different game show that nobody gives a shit about. Because nobody cares about any of these game shows. I mean, what is the point of watching a bunch of fucking white people like spin a wheel and win like a car? Like The Price is Right. Who gives a shit about what the fucking price of the thing is? Do I get one? No, Hayden, you actually need to get to work right now. You should be working. Why aren't you working harder? That's the kind of vibe I'd be getting when it comes to things like that. Actually, no, Hayden. You already know what you should be doing. You should be working, dumbass. Yeah, billion. Billion. And they show the contestants again. There's just nothing there. And they're like, now they're going to pretend to be... They drum roll. There's a fucking drum set, like a drummer in the background. It's a guy from Def Leppard, so he has one arm. They're going to pretend to be mental illness today. See how that one goes for them. And there's about, let me see. What am I talking about? This is my podcast. It's mine. I really need some donations here. I need you to tell your friends and family about this fucking show, please. Since I think the world is trying to cancel me. The Illuminati or whatever, if they even fucking exist anymore. I'm pretty sure that they're trying to cancel me. I'm pretty sure they have been for a while. But that's the thing. You can't cancel, and you cannot apply woke culture to me. Go listen to the second episode, Coma Dreamland, or the updated audio. Woke culture. You can't do it to me. You just can't. You can't cancel me. And if that's the idea here, why don't you just come and shoot me in the head? Somebody come and shoot me. What's the big deal? Shoot me in the front of the head, the back of the head, the knee. I'll carry a knife on me, so I'll like slice my legs. Then I'll probably bleed out. So imagine, like, grasping at any sense of, like, why am I a fake mental illness? We'll just go with a real mental illness, since the fake nothings are really obsessed with labels. Like, imagine being like, shut the fuck up about it then. It would be the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and his Father God, in my opinion. Or all the gods. It's not really up for me to decide. I think that's what the episode was going to be about. I got a bit sidetracked. I like it this way. You don't like it, hit the road. You're grounded, bitch. You ain't you ain't levitating up into heaven today. You're kicked out. You know, like the kick from Inception when they tip somebody when they're sleeping, when they make them fall down in the real world. So when they're falling, they wake up. Kicked out. Hit the road if you get kicked out. Just do it. So imagine the afterlife, and it's not like Jesus or God, just those two. I mean, they didn't even write their own book. You know? They didn't. No offense, guys, but I mean, come on. At least do a little bit of proofreading. You know, at least do a little bit of proofreading in terms of, you know, writing anything down. We had a bunch of like people who hated Jesus, right? Didn't the Jews kind of hate Jesus? So people who hated him were telling stories about him for like decades, and then they started writing the Bible. This is just my kind of absolutely I haven't done much research on the topic. This is the thing as well. I need to be able to do accurate research. Because pretty much everything is fucked. I can't do it. Like, I can't do research. The articles are responding to my thoughts, my inner thoughts inside of my head. It's a complete invasion of privacy, folks. No, I'm not crazy. All right? This is really happening right now. And nobody seems to believe me when I tell them. They all say I'm crazy. I haven't told many people many things in a while. Actually, my neighbor told me that he didn't say I'm crazy. So that's a first. I had a point that I was going to bring up. That's right. The science of the unimportant topic of precognition. Here are two of many examples of spontaneous precognitive experiences that fit these requirements. Craig Hendricks, a 65-year-old retired U.S. Army officer sergeant, first class. Boy, that's a mouthful. Oh, 65. Let's do the math here. So we didn't fight in well, I say fight in Nam. The government says it wasn't a war. That's why I call it the vacation. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not even joking. And if there's any veteran listeners, I'd like to know what it was like to, specifically from the Vietnam War, because that's when they first started using flamethrowers. That's when the flamethrower was invented, just before the Vietnam War. And I'm just curious as to if you ever grilled food like brats or hot dogs, you know, iguanas, chihuahuas. If you've ever cooked on a grill, cooked on an open fire, or had the pleasure of trying out a flamethrower. If you're a cannibal, even better, give me a ring. 763-242-4788. Or just text me because my phone is not working right now. I'm a bit of a mess. But also, I'm really not at all either. Imagine, like, fighting for the rights of schizophrenic voices in your head and fighting for their rights to commit suicide with a firearm in your head. I think they should be allowed to do that. And imagine not having a body. And I mean a body as in you've never had sex. And you never are able to have sex again. Because you spent too long trapped in a coma. Now you're paralyzed and brain dead. That's because the medicine, quote unquote, that the hospital was giving you, shooting you up, making you a junkie, was literally keeping you trapped in your coma. This is what happens to coma. I'll talk about this on a different episode. It's really kind of disheartening and sad when you think about the hospital shooting coma patients up. And eventually, once the brain is done swelling or the healing is pretty much done, it's time to put the needle down. It's time to put the needle down. And it's time to put the needle down. Stop shooting up morphine and ketamine in the hospital. You should wake up. Get out of your dream. You should just kill yourself in your dream. Because coma dreams are apparently real from the fake research that's been sent to my devices. They're not. But imagine like actually being in a coma dream and like a coma nightmare, and you're like trapped and you don't know what to do. Like you don't know when it's gonna end. And it literally being because the coma you is being shot up unwillingly and non-consensually, being intravenously shot up with like pretty potent, strong drugs. because the doctor says, oh, yeah, because we're in America. That's really what it probably is. They just love to get us all drugged up. And I don't blame them. Can you drug me up? Can you drug me up? Please. I'm begging. Please, I'm begging you, God. Is there anything between fully conscious and like a coma where you still get shot up with intravenous IV drugs? Like right in that middle ground. Oh, yes. Just fully conscious, but shooting up heroin. Imagine like thinking, well, you can't think. So what are you then if you can't think? You don't have a body. You're just like you're like Matthew McConaughey, but without being in Matthew McConaughey's body. After he goes through the black hole portal. So you're in the black hole portal, but you're not anything. It's just black nothingness. Which is what I've been told is what death is like by a few people. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. And that's the thing. I get sidetracked so easily here. Goodness gracious. We had a trailer. There were 20 of us with our computers. We were doing research. One day, as I was sitting there in this air-conditioned space, it occurred to me that I needed to get an iced tea. I never drank iced tea. We had plenty of cold water, and it was 112 degrees Fahrenheit outside. But I had this thought. Where did that thought come from? I really want some iced tea was actually the thought. It was almost a conversation within my own mind. I said, nah, don't think so. Thought came up again. Go get some iced tea. I said, no, I really don't think so. The voice was insistent. Insistent. You need to go get some iced tea. I said, I refuse to. It's ridiculous. I will not. Finally, it asked again, and I decided it was a good time for a break. I left my office, sweating like a dog, and walked to the compound to get some iced tea. Then I headed back to the trailer. The trailer was in a security compound. When I returned, it was all secured. I wasn't allowed in. I wondered why and later found out that about a minute after I'd left, a 120-millimeter rocket had impacted right next to the trailer, stuck like a dot in the ground. It would have killed anyone in the vicinity, but it was not fused correctly. It could have killed me just by impact, even if it didn't explode. What are the two correspondences here? They are the feeling of urgency, and Craig's leaving the trailer to go to the compound. If Craig had just felt that he wanted iced tea, but not in an urgent way, the story would not seem so precognitive. He would have been feeling he wanted iced tea when the rocket hit. What? Or if Craig urgently felt he wanted something to drink, but he just got some water from the trailer. No impressive precognition. In order for us to call this experience a genuinely precognitive one, Craig had to decide he urgently wanted to do something that could only be achieved by leaving the trailer and going far away in order to avoid the rocket strike. My right ear just started ringing really loudly. These things never happen to me. Not me. Maybe I'm a shapeshifter, a skinwalker version of myself. Here's a precognition experience with all the elements plus extra credit. According to a newspaper story in January 2018, a Virginian named Victor Emol dreamed about the numbers 3, 10, 17, 26, 32. He had never had a dream like that before. He decided to enter the lottery using those numbers. In fact, he entered 4 times. Dude, he bought 4 lottery tickets. I've probably bought, starting a year ago, over a year ago. It's been a year since I figured out precognition in this coma dream was a thing, with the internet talking about my life before it happens, against the law. Being able to see through my senses, like see through my eyes, access my other senses, against the law. Against the law. Being able to access all of my memories somehow, against the law. Talking about things in my life that I've never talked about with anybody ever in my entire life. Against the law. Those are the big ones. Pretty much responding to my inner thoughts at all times is pretty much the big one that I'm really not it's the senses one is so insane too. Imagine trying to like watch porn and jerk off when the porn stars are responding to what you're thinking about and you close your eyes. You don't have any cameras that set up in the room. And they're like, oh, they like comment on the fact that you're closing your eyes. Welcome to my life. So yeah, I'm a little bit kooky, to say the least. That would be the continuous references of the broken dick. Part of it. It kind of doesn't, it like completely like fucks your head up. And I don't believe that this is possible for anybody. If it is, I just don't believe it is. Because I would be like, all right, this is why if it is, let me know. I'm serious. If I'm not even joking right now. If this any of this kind of stuff in any of my episodes happens to you or it has happened to you or you think anything like this is happening, come talk to me. Message me on the fucking podcast, text me or contact me. I'll leave links in for my email and my texting and all that kind of shit. Social media. If you can make it to the phone without going on a deer hunt. I'm just kidding. It's not deer hunting season yet. So don't do that yet. And she'll never have to listen to you or fake ass. Oh, I never finished the precognition story about the dude who had a dream about lottery numbers. Yeah, man. Imagine knowing that the entire internet can see into your future and actually talks about your future days, weeks, months, years, and sometimes decades beforehand. And what would you think? I'm genuine. No, I'm being dead ass serious. What would you think? What would you do with that information? Would you say, all right, is Speedway hiring? Also, Infinity War is about you. Thanos probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you. Endgame. Things like that. Iron Man. They kind of exist because you exist. By you, I mean me, but I'm trying to like put you in the mindset of my life. So, when probably approximately, yeah, and NFL players that didn't exist a week earlier are now playing in the NFL. All this kind of shit. When approximately, give or take, $23 billion has been made, pretty much, not obviously not every single thing about anything is about me specifically to every little detail, but all these things tie to my life and have something to do with something very specific in my life. So that's worth a cut. It's definitely worth a cut legally. It's the law. It just is. It's the law. It just is. What do you want me to do about it? So, if it's the law, it's part of the U.S. Constitution. It's part of copyright infringement, copyright, I don't know the exact term. How about just illegal activities? And not illegal by the people doing them, or not even really. I mean, I don't even know how to go there, or what to do, or think about that. I just give me money. No, I'm not doing the whole fake selling of my soul thing. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. Because I've earned it. I deserve it. So I'm not selling my soul. Or going to hell. Neither would my soulmate. It's not even a thing. No, it's not. I don't believe in that. Who gives a shit any other way? And when your Fourth Amendment rights, my mind, my senses, try jerking off when the porn stars are responding to what you're thinking about, and they can hear through your ears and sense all your senses. They can see through your eyes. They can tell that you're not hard because of these things. No, it's not a dream. Coma dreams aren't real. They're not possible. I'm sorry. I just am not going to do it. I've done enough time. Even if you are able to get hard, you go soft pretty easily. With everything else on my mind, this is just like one of the really fucked up things. There's like probably a couple hundred. eventually there's so much like blood disparity in terms of like all the information inside of my like brain and memory that there I feel like I need more blood in my brain in order to like just hold everything in there. Like hold all the memories and all everything. So when I start thinking about the invasion of my privacy, da 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 da, my dick goes back to the soft. And I just picture like the blood in my blood veins and my heart like just shooting up to my brain, being like, "Oh my god, Jesus. Come on, Hayden, just try to focus. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it." And that begs the other question. These are the kinds of things that I don't even know if I should talk about because I don't even want to really know the answer. I know it ain't a cobra dream, though, folks. And I've proven that to myself. No. Uh, and I've proven that with many different pieces of evidence. And for some reason, God doesn't really want to share those pieces of evidence with me because he's kind of wiped them from my memory bank, a few of them. That's what I was referring to earlier on the episode. Not cool. No, I'm not crazy. This is all true and real. It's all right, though. You know, turn to God. Turn to him. Say, can you make it so I can't have kids? I'm kidding, God. Obviously, I'm joking. It's not God's fault. You know, everybody's at fault and nobody's at fault here. Turn to the Lord. The Lord. Uh, and even if I could get hard, Lord, and you know, keep a hard cock like I could 6 months ago. I don't know if I would want to. I don't know if I want to be bringing any kids up into this world. Not so quite, which is a really fucking sad thing. Because for about at least probably 20 years of my life, I didn't want kids at all. Maybe 21. Maybe even 22. And then for like the year 23, no, it was probably 22, right before the first car accident. For about a year, I'm like, I actually really want kids. It'd be cool to have a kid. What the fuck else am I gonna do? Drink a bottle of Windsor every 2 days and stare at the wall every night and play fucking video games? I try to make it to the bed before I pass out from having 15 Windsor and Cokes. Taking 4 Tylenol before I pass out because I don't want to wake up with a hangover. I got work in the morning. It works. You won't have a hangover if you take the Tylenol before you sleep. That's a really, yeah, the kids thing. Yeah, man. I'm not saying don't have kids. You know, you gotta have, yeah. I won't give up on you people. Even if I don't know you, I will not give up on you. It is not a coma dream. It is not a simulation. It's not a dream world. It's not heaven and it's not hell. This is purgatory. At least for me. Is it for anybody else? I don't know. Let me know if it is, if you have any experiences. Like if you have a near-death experience, but you're nowhere near death. Like if you levitate into the light in heaven and you answer incorrectly and you get shot back down into your body and you think, what? And you're reflecting on your memories and you think, oh man, that's really weird. I wasn't near death. So clearly, purgatory is the explanation for that one. This might be your first life. If so, live it up. You get a second one. Have fun with it. I'm serious. Just try to have a good time. Don't be all down in the dumps. You hear me? You've listened to my story? I should be dead. I somehow still don't want to kill myself. I won't. I will not do it. I'm not going to do it. I still need to catch a muskie and see a polar bear in the wild. Kids, take care of your children, folks. Hug them and love them dearly. Spend time with them. Tell them to listen to the Because podcast if things start getting weird. And yeah, I don't imagine that they will, but I don't imagine that they will. Because God might crash the moon into the planet. That might be how he saves us all. You know? You shouldn't have driven your gas-guzzling pickup truck so much. Meanwhile, China has like 14,000 factories that produce insane amounts of whatever the fucking, bad, the fucking shit that's bad for the planet, bad for the environment. Like 1 second from a plant, 10% of the size of one of those 14,000 plants produces like the same amount of pollution as your entire pickup truck, like over 10 years. They're like, you need to get a new car. You need an electric. Like, dog, what? I read something online. There's something about, online, dude. That's the thing. I really want to, Thunk. Wait, I thought he just said he would never kill him. It's kind of one of those vibes. No, seriously, I need your money, folks, since I can't seem to get, we just print out money in this country. We print it out of a fucking printer. And then we give $250 billion to like a rundown shithole ghetto version of Russia. We give it to them to try to fend off Russia from invading like 2% of their country. That's how much progress they've made in the war. Is there even a war going on over there anymore? I have no idea. I saw a map a few months ago of like how much of Ukraine Russia has infiltrated and taken over. It was like fucking 3% of the country after 4 years. Not very efficient. But we give $250 billion to Ukraine. To just keep the war going. A nice slow burn war. It's like alcoholism. You're going to die in 50 years. Or, 30 if you try to quit. You can die from alcohol withdrawal, folks. Just an FYI. I would hope everybody knows that. The only two withdrawals that you can die from, two, are alcohol and Xanax, like a benzodiazepine. So, like, two of the drugs that help you relax the most. Like the one that's legal everywhere in every country in the world. And the other one that is basically like they're like kind of like drunk pills. Like you kind of feel drunk when you're on Xanax, but it's mostly for panic attacks and anxiety to calm you down from I don't know if anybody's had a panic attack. It literally feels like you're having a heart attack and you're going to die. Because you can't breathe. You lose your breath. You can't, I've had a few of them. Not in a long time because I'm not a pussy. But alcohol and an anti-anxiety medication. You can die from the withdrawals from both of those drugs if you are really, really not having a good time. And the thing is, when you're withdrawing from alcohol, if you go to detox or the psych ward or treatment, if you're that bad, they're going to send you to detox before they let you into a treatment facility. They don't want you they don't want you around the other inpatient people. If you're detoxing, they'll send you to detox for like 5 days probably. That's a fun time. Keep a journal if you can even write. But if you're withdrawing from alcohol, like if you drink all day every day, like liquor, I don't know how long. I'll do some research on that maybe or whatever. What? Oh my god. We're fucked. But when you're in detox, they'll give you Xanax or another benzo to wean you off of the booze withdrawal. It actually, benzos are actually used for alcohol withdrawal to help you not die. Because your body is so dependent on booze that it shuts down when it doesn't have it. It like stops your heart. And that is like a physical state of being that I have yet to achieve. And I drank a 175 of liquor every 2 to 3 nights. So So if you're withdrawing from alcohol, another drug that you can get addicted to is Xanax to wean yourself off of the booze. And then you can maybe die from withdrawing from that one. Because why not? So it's like two of the most available drug of all time, alcohol, and the other one is built to help you relax and not like lose your temper. And when you're having a panic attack, it feels like a heart attack, except for the numbing pain on your left side. So it's like two of the most calming drugs and chilled out drugs of all time. And those are the ones that'll get you. You can't withdraw. You can't die from a heroin withdrawal, opioid withdrawal, not meth or crack or cocaine, not even the crock. No, stimulant withdrawals are actually not that bad. They're not bad at all. You'll just sleep it off. It's actually probably the aside from weed, it's probably the most mild withdrawals. You're mostly just irritable like a little bitch. And sleeping all day like a fucking pussy. While some scientists who study precognition study spontaneous precognition outside the lab, most of them study precognition using controlled tests administered in the lab or over the internet. Instead of going through all the results from these studies, here is a summary. There is statistically impressive evidence for both conscious and unconscious precognition. I need a break from all the stuff. Based on careful studies. And a thing called unconscious precognition, in other words. Precognition that we don't notice in our daily lives because we're not conscious of it seems to be relatively commonplace. For example, a 2012 analysis of 26 experiments found that physiological changes occur before emotional events that do not occur as often before boring events. These are changes in heart rate, sweat, respiration, and behavior, and they occur seconds before violent or erotic images are randomly selected to be shown to people volunteering for these experiments. Because of these kinds of results, precognition is becoming a hot topic in the research world. This doesn't mean precognition research is uncontroversial. Check any Wikipedia entry, Jesus Christ. For any of the researchers we have discussed here, or just read the entry for precognition and you will see that the mainstream scientific view, which Wikipedia represents well, is, as with other forms of extrasensory perception, there is no reliable scientific evidence that precognition is a real ability possessed by anyone, and it is widely considered to be pseudoscience. When the internet's talking about your day and then you live your day and those things happen, what do you call that? In a not dream world. Luckily, this kind of uniformed view is largely ignored by the scientists who see the data firsthand. And that's the other thing I keep forgetting to really hammer home. I will not allow this world to be a coma dream. I won't let you people die. I know you probably wouldn't do the same for me, but, somebody's got to be a good person sometimes. And I've been thinking about it, so I'll try it for a bit. Yeah, precognition in coma. Let's just see this one for fun. Coma dreams. Coma dreams. What does it mean to have precognitive dreams? No, I'm specifically talking about the ones in the coma. Wow, watch there be. I was just gonna say, watch there be no articles on coma dreams, which is, just kind of the way it goes. Which I've read multiple articles about precognition in coma dreams. So there's definitely articles about them. That's crazy, man. I can't find a single article about one. About one, not one article about coma dreams and precognition in terms of the longer you're in the coma dream, the more precognition becomes relevant. Same with time and reality. All three of those things become more and more distorted. And what's the word I'm looking for? Um, control. I mean, not even controllable. I'm not trying to. I don't even know what the word is. It'd be nice if I could find one of the articles that I read, so I could know what word I'm looking for. So, folks, that's where we're at. And now I'm wondering, is this the accurate research coming to fruition? Or is this just the internet saying, hey, fuck you, Hayden? Or was the previous times I've researched accurate? And now they're saying, hey, fuck you, Hayden? Or whatever, whoever, probably, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to like really trust any of the research that I do when things like this happen. This is pretty drastic, though. I haven't had something like this happen, like this. Um, uh, Imagine this intense and obvious, because I've read multiple articles, probably at least 5, about precognition in coma dreams. Oh, TikTok. Of course they pull up a TikTok. I don't give a shit about Chinese spyware. The gift of telepathy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, me and God talk all the time. I think. I think it's him. It's hard to tell sometimes. This is America, pal. You hear me? This is fucking America. And I will give this information to the public for free. Because I don't need to worry about money. Plus, that's the point. It's America. Free. What is the free speech? Do they mean that? That speech. What does speech mean? Like the Speechify app? Hmm. So I know poem pick. What? Our own Dick Health's Alt 2 radio show returns. Yeah, my Dick Health ain't doing too well. Maybe I should listen to this show. Boom buzz. After you get to, like past the fifth page on Google, it starts getting weird. The search results you start getting real weird. What? You've got to be you're kidding, right? Wow, man. That's crazy. Huh. Yeah, let's go. Why are these off? You people are you. Jesus Christ! You fucking stupid. Yeah, be gone. Yeah. I wish I pretended like I knew about everything in the world, like what Jesus Christ and God and all the other top people in all the religions. I wish I pretended to like be them. That would be really really fun. And then I would just pretend to be Satan and the devil at the same time. Well, I'm not anything. That sounds better than my existence. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kidding, everybody. I'm joking. Suck my asshole, dude. Oh yeah, the big religion chart. Compare world religions. Yeah, I'm gonna. You know, I'm gonna put a poll in this one. Who likes when I go longer on episodes, and who likes when I keep them shorter? Answer in the thing below. Please and thank you very much. Tell your friends and family, please, if you want to. If you want to help somebody who deserves it, you know, if you can scrounge together a couple of pennies to send me, I would greatly appreciate it. I guess I'll put yeah, dude. All right. I think we're gonna be done with this one. Yeah, we're probably done here. And by we, I mean I am probably done. Yeah, recording audio or whatever. Suppression of the mind. Because that's really fun. Alrighty. Bye, honeys. I'll see you at the next one. Or I won't, because I'm blind.